Hello,
Yeah.
peoples of the internet. I'm back with K-Talk.
I am osteoporosis.
Okay.
It's your boy Flame Jigoku, or known as King Flame. That was what I had in the last. Yeah.
So we're doing a double O MMO thing. Wait, would it be a
True.
double L MMO? Wait, MMO?
MMO. Oh, wait. You
Or
mind reader.
Yes. Okay.
I totally don't have the scripts open.
Okay, so yeah, you're gonna start, but we are doing a little MMO. These are two of our characters, Flame and Monica, and you can probably guess who's who by the appearance.
Yeah, I'm not sure that the fiery-haired guy would be named Monica.
Well, you never know.
But you never know, you mind readers. Stop it.
I can't. I can't. But you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first.
Okay.
So, the fiery-haired guy is Flame. His full name is Flame Jigoku, which is also what I go by my channel name, because he shares the same name with another character in a different series universe thing.
Okay.
In this universe, he's a Highlander. So those are basically winged of pure magical energy, and they come in different types of Highlanders. So there's based on what magic you have. So if you have fire magic, you're a Firelander. If you have water magic, then you're probably a Waterlander.
I realized something. There's
something along those lines.
If there are Highlanders that practice earth magic, would they be Earthlanders or Landlanders? Okay, God.
Okay. So he's been around for about 20 years or so, meaning he's about 20 years old, although they technically don't have birthdays.
Yeah.
So yeah, give or take a few years, but his main magic is fire. He's a Firelander. So when he arrived in Mystia, he began studying light and lunar magic, but he quickly gave up on the lunar magic after only learning a few spells, since it was really a hard magic to learn. It's one of the hardest magics to learn. He only knows a few spells, such as his detector magic, which is basically the equivalent to a radar. It's also equivalent to basically learning about a person. So if he uses detector magic on, let's say, Monica, he would know that she's a storm wizard. Spoilers. That she's a storm wizard. Her name is Monica Waterblade, and he'd basically know a little bit more information about how old she is, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So he continued to study light magic and uses it alongside his fire magic, which are especially useful for battles against shadow or ice magic combinations. Thorn. In the years before he moved into Lunaris, they were the biggest and most impactful years of his life. When he moved to Mystia, he met a wizard around the same age as him. She also studied fire magic, so it's natural that they would become really great friends. For a while, they stayed friends before a revelation hit him. He's a Highlander. She's a human, studying magic, so Flame would definitely outlive her. This grew Flame to pushing her away, basically, before he realized that he needed to spend most of the time that he could with her. So he tried to go back to her, but since Flame pushed her away, she took it badly, and wanting to do nothing with it, because Flame made her feel like it was her fault that Flame abandoned her, and it made her feel really bad about herself.
And that's a big oof.
Yeah, big oof. So it lowered her own self-esteem, and she didn't want that for herself, so her and Flame didn't get back together as friends. Flame, of course, took this badly as he lost the only friend he had at the time. He overthought the entire ordeal and caused himself to develop depression along with social anxiety. He ended up traveling around the web afterwards, only stopping in world from time to time, before he eventually found a job in Lunaris from a friend of one of the captains of one of the boats he hitched a ride on. Yeah, it's kind of confusing, but this guy was a friend of one of the captains that he was a part of the ship, if that makes sense. I'm great at Englishing.
I think you got it.
Probably. But he didn't know who this man was, and he was very scared to meet him. But the captain made him sound very high up. He knew he needed this job as it did pay fairly well, and he did need money for food and shelter. So he moved to Lunaris. He ended up working in a huge laboratory while also continuing his studies on light magic, called the Steel Cortex, along with the Ravenwood School for Magic. The Steel Cortex was owned by an elemental named Lunaris, which was the friend of the captain, and he's also the head of an organization named Solaris. For a while, Lunaris was his only friend, and they basically just had this sort of... It was closer than a boss and employee relationship. It was more of like an acquaintance relationship. And after a while, Lunaris tried to get him out of his shell that was built by social anxiety. One time, he tried to team him up with a girl named Monica Waterblade. The rest of the story will be told by me and after I give a little more on his inspiration, and she also talks about Monica. So Flame had a lot of different inspirations to his character. Like I said in his backstory, he basically shares the name and a lot of the personality with someone in a different universe. He also shares the looks, but this Flame has a few things that differentiate him. For example, this Flame's hair is longer than the other one. He has fire wings, his nose is different, probably, and his body is, well, leaner, I guess you could say. One of Flame's biggest inspirations has to do with the Human Torch from Fantastic Four. I grew up a huge superhero fan, and I really found fire-based abilities really fascinating. Of course, his personality is way different, as Torch has a sort of super ego and is very outgoing, while Flame has little to no ego, hardly any self-esteem, and is basically a shy bean, and is a huge bookworm. He's also really caring, and if you do somehow make friends with him, then he'll act like a protective parent. Almost like Daddy Bird. Both him and Other Flame have the same shy personality, except Other Flame is less of a bookworm, still pretty intelligent, but is more what. That's basically basically all the backstory and inspirations for Flame. Thanks. Thank you.
You're very welcome. So here's Monica. Crap, I wrote a lot of backstory crap.
Yes, you did.
Okay, so this is Monica Waterblade, a natural-born water and storm wizard. Not much is known about her father or her life beforehand, but when she was really young, probably not more than 8 years old, Monica and her mother moved to the world of Sheffield. There, her mother married some rich, high-empowered shepherd. He was probably a noble or a politician, something like that. Unfortunately for Monica, at the time she lived in Sheffield, magic wasn't nearly as accepted as it probably still isn't really now. So not so great for a little kid who has a tough time keeping her powers in check. On top of that, in the environment she grew up in, status and image was everything. Her mother kind of tried to fit her into the mold of a perfect little heiress to a perfect rich couple. Monica put up with that for years and years, but she was bound to get bored of playing dress up. When she was about 10, she got the genius idea to sneak out and explore the city more, since she had only seen very little between a cushy penthouse, some private school, and the upper class streets and neighborhoods.
Very smart.
Yep. Her mother and father seemed to not pay much attention to her outside of the spotlight anyways, so she was essentially living a double life in the more disadvantaged parts of the capital of Sheffield.
Why does she remind me of a superhero?
To be honest, that would be a good superhero backstory, wouldn't
True,
it?
true. Also, I'm eating a pickle, so you may hear me mute and unmute because I don't want chewing sounds in the video.
Tasty. For her, this kind of works surprisingly out great, except for the part about not being able to control her powers that well in a world that's cruel to the unknown. She was fine for the most part, except every now and then her powers would act up out of her control, and slowly they were getting stronger and more deadly. For a couple years, she still managed to hide her powers from the public pretty well, both on screen and on the streets. However, whenever she was 12, almost 13, she got accused of attempting to attack someone with her powers, and she was almost torn apart or shot to death by a fearful mob. She managed to run back and escape to her little penthouse and hide. The damage was already done, though, and that night, as soon as news got out to all over Sheffield, her mother knew it was her. English. However, she walked up to an acceptance letter to a magic school in Misia, which was kind of odd since she never even applied there. But still, the letter teleported there to her new life, where she was definitely much more free and excelled at channeling her magic through spell cards. After she completed and was excelling at the essential arts of store magic in Misia, when she was about 17, Monica saw an opportunity to go to Lunaris, where there was a much more advanced magic school. Though she was not quite so ready for it, she took the chance anyway, since not only could she continue her studies, but she could also start training to become a researcher in some laboratory. She thought that would probably be an interesting job, so she had her heart set pretty quickly. She said goodbye to her friends, more like family, she had in Mystia, and left Lunaris. There she studied and worked for a couple years, and eventually she was teamed up with a Firelander named Flame. The rest is history.
Which will be said in about, 5 minutes, maybe. I can time, probably.
Yeah, it's very time. Okay. Now after a crap ton of backstorying, I'm gonna talk about her personality a bit. Personality, yes. Monica is a pretty smart girl and very, very outgoing. She's also curious, but to a fault. Pretty sure, back before Flame was involved in the roleplay with it and anything, there was, this one time, I can hardly remember much about it, but, she literally freaking and followed someone around the entire day to see what they were doing, just because they seemed slightly off.
I can definitely see her doing that.
Same. She's also easily excited, but also easily distracted, and has a hard time focusing on just one task. Though, even if she just stopped listening to you to look at a pretty flower, don't take that to mean she doesn't care about you. She's caring and gets attached to people, maybe a bit too easy. She also puts other people's feelings before her own, maybe too much too. Basically what happened with Sigmas.
Flashbacks.
Same.
Flashbacks to the spiral of just depression that Flame felt afterwards.
Flashback was still a lot of crap, dang.
Same.
I wonder how the guy who roleplayed as Sigmas is doing.
Same.
But yeah, I should probably talk about some of the ideas behind Monica, which is basically just my Wizard 101 character, who was her main inspiration. I have a freaking lot of Wiz characters in the roleplay, and I don't know, for some time I just thought, hey, I want to include in my Wiz characters since I already worked a crap ton on their backstories too. So,
true.
Yeah.
I mean, I have one single character that came from Wiz, and I've already worked a lot on his backstory. And
Yeah.
Fridge, I love his backstory. I just hit the entire general concept because he's like, how do I English? How does one English again?
I'm not sure. I think we're Spanishing.
Como está? I don't know. I can't Spanish either. But yeah, now we should probably talk about what happened after the backstories.
Yeah.
After they met and basically all that crap.
Yeah. Flame and Monica became friends after she noticed how shy the how shy the Firelander was, and decided to make it her mission to become friends with him.
Eventually, Flame got used to her and noticed that he had some sort of feelings developing for her as well. For a while, they both had a crush on each other, of course, but were way too awkward to admit it to the other. Like, they were just like, if anybody mentioned anything about, oh, hey, you two would be cute as a couple, they would both just die internally and externally.
After a while of awkwardly avoiding the situation, Monica finally decided to tell Flame.
As did Flame, coincidentally, on the exact same day at the exact same time. Flame decided to fly over to her house and bring her some fire poppies that he had just got as well. They both realized that the other felt basically the same way and became a couple.
After that, Flame and Monica spent almost all their time together, and eventually spending that time together and with Clarice.
Yep, and after that they went on to save the web, but that's for another time, another story, another time about how the web was saved, all the different dangers to the web and stuff like that, which will probably
be its own video because it'd take like 30 million years.
True, because holy crap, that's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, a lot of role playing.
Definitely a lot of information. Also, I mean, there's even stuff that was deleted when the old server was deleted, so we'll still have to like fill in the gaps as well, which is definitely something that'll be happening within the next 4 years, because by that time we need to have the story set in stone. That way we know how to roleplay it. Yeah,
and like animated and all that crap.
Yeah, also, which is kind of what I'm doing. You can cut this part out because spoilers to Shame. But this is what I'm doing for Shame. Spoilers.
Very. Also, what else have I realized while recording this?
What?
Linarice is basically the ultimate matchmaker.
True.
Very true.
Linarice is the ultimate matchmaker, confirmed.
Yes. Also, the picture I drew was really freaking cute, though.
I agree. I really liked it. I really enjoyed it.
You'll get to see it in full in the video, and if I ever actually get around to showing you the digital version.
True, but maybe we should explain a little bit about the picture.
I guess a little bit real quick.
So basically what they're doing, this may look very, anyways, basically what they're doing in the photo is, every time they have to go somewhere together, they always opt to take a ride on Flame's back, basically. Since Flame is a Firelander, he has wings of fire, so he can fly around.
Flame is like a little one-person plane.
Yeah, he's a flame plane!
Flame plane!
Oh god, flashbacks to that.
Same.
But basically, Flame would just bend over, motion for Monica to jump on. Monica would jump onto his back. Flame would grab her legs. She'd wrap her arms around him, and they'd fly off into the sunset.
That's a cute scene in my head. I should have made the sunset picture some.
Oh, you should have.
Yeah, but still, this is freaking cute, and I love it.
It is. And like, I can English. Brain, yes, my thoughts just completely escaped my head. Oh wait, so, I can imagine this little scene where like they're flying through the clouds, and then Flame kind of throws her off it, but then grabs her by his hands, and so she's just kind of hanging off of him, and like through the clouds. Yeah. Or like Flame kind of tilts sideways, so she's kind of sideways-ish, and she can just run her hand through the clouds and just feel it.
True.
That looks virgin cute in my head.
Same though. I hope you enjoy this. Wait. It won't be MMO. It will be MOO. It will be a moo.
Moo!
We're definitely doing more of these. I'm definitely gonna be doing more of my characters, and
yes,
Flame's definitely doing more of his. And
we should do
bleep,
and
bleep.
in one video.
Ooh, yeah, we should. Like, I was
also with that part, you should like edit it out to be. We should do beep and beep in one video.
Okay, we should do bleep and bleep in one
video. Yeah.
Yeah.
That way they don't know what's coming.
But yeah, we hope you enjoy this. If you like this, maybe leave a like. Lets us know. Hey, you don't think this is crap? That's cool.
True, and lets us know that hey, you think the backstories are actually pretty cool because. I mean, we've both kind of put a lot of work into these backstories.
I've put way too much thought into characters.
Same, especially since Flame is, well, not this Flame, but Flame in general is actually my OOC, my original OC. He's my longest OC because I've had him for what, 5, maybe 6 years?
Wow.
Dang! It's been a while.
Have any final words?
Reality is an illusion, the universe is a hologram. We're all being controlled by an
Also, links for Flame will be in the description. Yes, a description. Okay, bye.